Hey there, welcome back. So real quick video, two recent releases that I read. The first being Daisy Darker by Alex Feeney. I picked this up because I loved rock, paper, scissors. Um, Sadly, not so much for this one. So this book I was excited for because we're on an island, isolated setting, confined group of characters, storm outside. My ideal setting and kind of plot setup. The idea being that this estranged family are going to a grandmother's house for her 80th birthday. She's fairly wealthy, and she lives on this island. So when the tide comes in, they're all kind of stuck there. But then the grandmother is found dead, and the next family member dies, and they're all getting killed off one by one. So I just hate stupid characters. I hate stupid characters so much. So when they're saying, hey, this can't be a coincidence, we're in danger, or even if this is an accident or a coincidence, let's still all just stick together because we're safer that way. And then they all separate for stupid reasons, and it's very contrived, and I don't like it. And then the pacing of this novel is just cut down with flashbacks to childhood and growing up, and it is just the most dysfunctional family with, I don't want to go into spoilers, but the choices made to treat and raise a child with chronically ill conditions was a choice that I did not like. I hated the characterizations of the majority of these characters because they fell very flat and one dimensional. The biggest being the sister, who is just slut shamed at every given opportunity. And of course, she's a leech and an idiot and got no drive for herself and just wants to take advantage of other ones. God forbid you write a character with any complexity. Daisy herself, the viewpoint character, is at least given some elements of good characterization or depth to character as you're presented as this innocent Daisy kind of thing. So sweet and kind and innocent, but there's this darker subtext and motives and personality to her. In my opinion, rightfully so. But yeah, that all happens. And I just, again, I hate stupid characters. So that really fell off for me. And the tone and the pacing was just dragged down so much by constantly being interrupted by flashbacks for a family I did not care about and did not like. Then you have the ending, which I will not talk about because obviously spoilers, but the twist for this ending, I personally loved. I seen it coming, but I seen it coming and I was not seriously actually considering it. It was more of a thought in the back of the mind going, hey, what if this is what's going on? And it was close enough to write that I'm just like, I'm going to take that. And I had a blast. It was ridiculous. I loved it. So I loved the ending. I really, really did. People are going to hate it. People are really, really, really going to hate it. So I bumped it up from a 1-star to a 2-star for me. But this one, just not for me. But in, I guess, the author's defense, it is a tone that's probably similar to Rock, Paper, Scissors. Very slow with introductions of backstory. And I realized I didn't love Rock, Paper, Scissors until like the last third anyway. But at least the beginning wasn't annoying me. This one, the beginning annoyed me, and it was only the last couple chapters that really struck it home for me that I'm like, yes, I love this. But so that wasn't enough to boost it quite up all the way. So it seems like for me, Alex Feeney is not an author that I enjoy the setup, and it's just like the ending I enjoy. So we're going to see. Maybe I'll try another one of her books later. The second book I read was one of my most anticipated, and it should not be one of my most anticipated. I had to buy it on release day because I was too excited, and I was not waiting to get a copy online or anything like that, like libraries and wait times. No, I was reading this on publication day. This is The Weight of Blood. Now, the reason I say I shouldn't be this excited for it was because it is a YA novel. I do not really like the writing in a lot of YA books, not judging the genre at all. I just find a lot of the times it's a little bit heavy-handed in presenting its themes and symbolisms and messages because for a younger audience that they don't want you to miss it. So I don't like feeling like the author's holding my hand and walking me through the point of the book. I would prefer more subtlety and trusting the audience to get your message without the characters having to spell it out for you. That is just my take on the genre, which could be wrong. I haven't read very much of this genre, and it's not even necessarily a valid criticism, because at the same time, like, I like to refer to Mad Max as a good example for this kind of thing. Spell out your message in big red letters across the wall. Like, there's nothing wrong with writing an in-your-face message. You don't need to write something subtly. I prefer it, but it's not a criticism that a book doesn't do it that way. They're allowed to write a book with a very in-your-face message so you can't miss it. The Weight of Blood is a Carrie retelling, a YA Carrie retelling from the point of view of race. For those of you who do not know, I disliked the Carrie movie. I'm sorry. But the book, I read it for the first time ever this year, and I fell in love. I was obsessed with Carrie as a character. The book, I would not change a single word of that book. I love it so much. The Weight of Blood is a Carrie retelling that focuses on a new character named Maddie. She is biracial, and originally this had been a secret she was keeping. And because of her father and other issues, religious overtones, which probably could have been cut. I think it was only kept in there really because of the original book, as well as the closet, which also didn't really fit so well. But regardless, I have nothing but praise for this book, for the record, because of my love for Carrie. It is a very loyal reimagining with a focus on race and the impact of it, and different aspects of racial identity. Let's put it that way. I'm out of my lane. I'm not going to talk too much about that aspect of the book. I can't say whether it was handled well. I can't say whether or not it was a little too heavy-handed. That is not my place to say. I can just say that I love this book. I love the characters. I love the depth to them. I loved the story plotting. The original Carrie book has intermittent cuts of what was happening leading up to prom as well as after prom with the investigation. Here, that investigation is, I guess, updated to be more of a podcast. I personally would have preferred the investigation element to have stayed. But yeah, I got nothing but praise for this book, but because it's a Carrie retelling. Does this stand up on its own as just a good book without the love or knowledge needed of did you have to read or watch Carrie to love this book? Of course not. No, it stands up on its own, and it is its own unique thing, where Carrie I would say is more of a tragedy, a heartbreaking tragedy. This does feel just like a YA horror mystery kind of thing with a slight little twist near the end. Not really. It's you're going to know what's happened if you had already watched or read Carrie. But like I said, it lacks the tragedy that the original had. But I still really love this. I really recommend it. If you are a fan of the YA genre, then yes, definitely recommend. If you're not, but you're a fan of Carrie, then I still recommend. So check this one out and let me know what you think of it. And is my love of the original book blinding me? I don't think so, because I love Tiffany D. Jackson's other book, Grown. That was another one. I just binged it. Both this book and Grown. I joke that, oops, I fell down and read a book. Like, I read this in one sitting. I couldn't stop. All right, that's all I got. I will talk to you later.